right, hello. How's it going, guys and gals? How is it going? Bear with me. I seem a little unprepared today. I just want to get things going. Let's go. Doesn't matter. We're here. It's another beautiful day. Turn it up. Thank you, guys and gals, for hitting that play button. You're awesome. Okay, quick check of the stream, and then we're going to get going here. Quick shout outs as well. Show the love and the support. You guys and gals supporting the channel. You're all awesome. You truly are. Okay, quick check. Alright, sounds like we're good. Perfect. That is good. Okay, one other thing. Shout outs to you guys and gals supporting the channel and viewers. Yeah, let's go. That's right. That's for you guys and gals, brothers, sisters, supporting the channel, subscribers and viewers. Again, I'll say it again. You guys are all awesome, beautiful, intelligent people. I appreciate you. All right, let's do this. It's time. All right, where are we? Where have we been? I guess we'll give it a quick run here. What? Make sure everything's good. That's right. The last thing we were doing, guys, we were spawning walls, and for some reason they're attacking. They're attacking Larry. Why are the walls attacking Larry, guys? He's just Larry. He's just a businessman. Why are the walls attacking him? Oh, the humanity. Hilarious. That's awesome. Okay, poor Larry. Larry the businessman. sounds like a movie. Attack of the killer stone walls. Attack of the killer stone walls. Okay, we are gonna do something else. So I titled this this video background parlor tricks. Okay, so a lot of you probably have not, like, maybe you don't know, but yeah, there are background parlor tricks going on. And for the most part, you know, when you're playing a 2D game or whatever, you got a character, of course, and you're running and you're playing and you're jumping and you're doing all these sort of things. And in your mindset, you're thinking, you actually feel like you're the one moving the character forward through the game. Which is, you know, I won't lie, something that I've even believed all this time, all these years. You know, playing some of the old school stuff like Super Mario World and such on the SNES. Yeah. So, I'm not 100% sure if all games are like that. You know, to be honest, I don't even know if Super Mario is like that. So, what they do is they kind of do, it's kind of like, I don't know, gaming parlor tricks, magic tricks. They're doing magic tricks on us, guys. Magic tricks! They're doing magic tricks on us, guys! Okay, just like the wall is moving and attacking Larry, like, you know, in reality, that's not normal. We don't usually have stone walls. We don't usually have stone walls running and attacking us, right? So, check this out. Okay, so like when I played, I'm just gonna run it real quick, right? You notice the background's not moving. The only thing that's happening is the wall is attacking poor Larry. I don't want to play it for too long because we have to clean up our memory here still. And I'll show you shortly, guys, how to do that. Okay, we need to go to, not there, scripts. So I have my background selected, okay? So what we're gonna do is we already have this script for sprite renderer. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just leave it like that. For the wall, right? World objects, I called it, and we attached the movement scripts to the wall. Of course, they're gonna have to be the same speed, but check this out, guys. So here's the magic show ParlourTricks that they do on us. There it is. Okay, so now you get the effect that you know, you're the one that's moving forward in a game. It's kind of neat how that's done. Now let's just show you guys so you guys can see. Right, we'll just go like this from this perspective, and we'll run it once more quickly. Whoa! See? Where's the wall going? Where's the set going? Director, the set is taking off on us. Why is the set doing that? That's not normal. Okay, so there we go. Now you guys know, okay? Just give me a sec, need some coffee, make some noise. Oh yeah. So we're pushing through this, guys. We got to get this done. Lots going on, a lot of different things, a lot of projects going on. For me, I want to keep doing content for you guys and gals. Those of you that are committed to watching and then are enjoying the content and here to learn and such, you're awesome. So, but yeah, stay tuned. A lot more coming. A lot of ideas. So, keep you guys entertained. Let's go. You guys are awesome. Okay. So we've added the move script, right? The move script is really, it's just, you know, using the transform.translate, and we have a value, a movement value or speed, if you will. And we're moving it time.delta time, so moving these objects over time and not every single frame. And then the direction is left. Excuse me. So you can add the same script to the background environment as well, right? I hope the music isn't too loud for you guys. I gotta turn down quite a bit. Hopefully we're alright. Okay, but I'm enjoying the vibes. Oh yeah, gotta have the music. Okay, so we're gonna create a new script, alright? And it is going to be called, so here's where we're getting into, I'm gonna do, so of course we're kind of working with learn.unity.com stuff, guys. I have the link in the description for you guys if you want to try out these little projects or challenges yourself. They're there for you. Here we go. We're gonna work with the background right now, so we're gonna get that done. But coming soon, we're gonna be, so some script they do, and my script is a little bit different. It's kind of, you know, it all does the same thing. It's all one and the same. It's just the way it's laid out, if you will. So I came across some, you know, some minor challenges or difficulties with the script that they were suggesting, and I was thinking it was because of maybe the way I had things set up in Unity. So I want to test it, and I'm going to run their script again, reutilize their script, and see if we come across that same error. If we do, then that's okay. I got you guys covered. I've already done my own script, and you know, got my thing going and got it working. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, new script. I'm calling it background loop. Okay, so basically there's like a couple of ways of doing this. Okay, so I'm going to click the background here. Okay, so this script is for our background. Okay, I'm just going to drag and drop it on there. Again, just like anything, when you guys create scripts, you have to attach it to something, right? You have to attach it to an object that's in the game. Otherwise, you're not going to make the magic happen. All you're going to be doing is, you know, typing script that is just words in Visual Studio that does nothing. Well, the words are there to make the magic happen, but without attaching it to the actual object, nothing's gonna happen, right? So just like, for example, for Larry's got his own controller script, right? Right here. This is the script for Larry. Same thing with the prop wall, right? It's got its own script. We just drag and drop the same script for the background. So essentially they're moving at the same speed, right? So you get that feeling or impression that you know, you're the one that's doing the running forward, and everything else is static or stationary, because that's just what we're used to in life, right? You know, we walk forward and objects that are behind us or beside us stay, they don't move, right? You guys must have come across that weird sensation or feeling where you're just sitting in a vehicle and you're chilling. Maybe you're staring at your phone or doing whatever. Maybe you're at the store or sitting in a parking lot or at the local, I don't know, Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, right? You're just sitting there chilling, and then all of a sudden you feel this sensation of movement. And what it is like, here's the thing, right? So you get, just out of the side of your eye, you sense movement, and what it is that the vehicle beside you is moving, but it gives you this, it tricks your mind and it messes with you, making you think that you're the one that's moving, right? So you like immediately hit the brake or something, even though you've been sitting there for 20 minutes or whatever. You know, us as humans, we're not 100% certain if we put our vehicle in park maybe or whatever. And it just messes with you. I'm sure you guys have had that happen in your life. It's kind of a weird sensation, right? And then you sit there and then you realize that it was the vehicle beside you that was leaving, because you think you're rolling backwards, right? And then you realize, oh, you're fine, you're in park, you're not going anywhere. And then you just sit there and laugh at yourself. Good times. Oh yeah. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna work on our background script. That's what we're doing now. Yeah. Okay, just kind of following the direction here. Yeah, we've moved the background. We're doing that. We created our scripts. I'm calling it the background loop, because essentially that's what we're doing. So there's, like, here quickly, just to talk about it, we could actually go control D's, like a copy, right? And I just made a copy. So you could actually, we could do that. We could literally keep making duplicate, because you seen the background just kept continuing running off that way, right? Everything's moving left. So one thing we could do is we could just keep creating copies or multiple duplicates, triplicates, quadruplicates. Yeah, I know they're not words, of our background, but that's not logically, it's not a logical thing. It's more of a memory and rendering and all those sort of things, guys, right? If you got, like, everything, just think about it. Every object or whatever is going to take up memory, or some sort of memory in your, in your memory of your system or your game or whatever you're using to play your game, right? Obviously, the more of these that you have, let's say you had, like, because you're not going to want to, like, throw out, like, let's say maybe you got the game's only 10 minutes or something, and you're trying to figure out how many backgrounds do I need to play 10 minutes of a game. So then you would be like copying the background 100 times or something crazy, right? You don't want that. That's just too much space, too much memory allocation. Plus, while the game's playing, there's rendering and stuff going on, right? So I'm just going to delete that, because that's just a bad idea in general. It's poor game development. Let's just say that. If you're doing that, and I'm not saying you are, but if somebody's doing that, yeah. Hopefully you're not buying their game, because you're going to eventually get a crash or lag or something. Okay. All right, so in our code, what we want to do is we want to keep re-looping the image. So if you look at the image, guys, the way it's set up, the way whoever drew this fine image or made this image, right? Pretty much like they obviously did this image first and then just made a copy of it, right? So it's duplicated image. So the reason for that is it's done intentionally so that you could actually keep re-looping this image, right? You'll get to a certain point here and then you just re-loop it. Okay, so as the image slot goes this direction, once it gets to a certain point near Larry, then it just loops back. It just goes over and over and over. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Okay. Music playing still. Okay, sounds like it. Good. All right. What are we doing here? Let's just get right to this. So what I need is, so our background loop, resetting our background essentially. I guess quickly, before we get too far, right? Because I'm just going to go right to it, okay, instead of putting in a random value. So what we're going to need is, and this is kind of a neat thing, like, because if you click the image, you guys, and you look at the inspector, you can see there's position values and there's scale values, but there's really no other information. Like, we don't know the physical dimensions of this image, right? What are they called? Tiles? I forget. There's a way to actually add these, and I'm going to do a video on that sometime coming soon, guys. How to kind of create your own back set, if you will. Something to that effect. We're going to do that, so stay tuned. This is already kind of pre-set up, but it's really not that challenging to do one of these, to be honest. So Stay tuned, and I'll do a video on that for you guys. Okay. It's really kind of hard to tell what they use here. Like, it's just here we have, you know, a background object, game object, and then you just attach an image to it, right? Essentially, right, with the sprite renderer. Okay, that's essentially how it's done. Okay, you need the sprite renderer is obviously what displays the image on the UI, right? Or GUI, I mean. Give me a sec, more coffee. Make noise. Okay, let's keep pushing. So, yeah, I'm trying to stay focused and keep direction going without over talking and over explaining, because I know, guys, I'm bad for that. I won't. I'll be honest about that, and I appreciate you guys that continue watching that don't mind me doing that. But you know, I just want to keep things going. Okay, I gotta attach my own script to myself. Being a game object in real life, you know. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm just looking here. I need to, I don't want that. Yeah, box collider, right? We attach a box collider. What? Oh yeah, it's gonna have two scripts, right? That's fine. Yeah, we need one for moving and one for repeating. Okay, so we need to add, so the box collider is cool because, again, remember, grab the 3D one, guys. Doesn't have to say 3D to be 3D. So check it out. So I'm gonna turn off the sprint renderer. I didn't turn it off there. So if you see, actually I should just remove that. I could actually, you know, I'm gonna turn it off. You can't see it, but while you can see it kind of flashing, that is the box collider around the perimeter of our background. Okay, so the cool thing is the box collider forms itself perfectly around the background image for us, so we don't have to do any like edit collider stuff, which is awesome, because you know how painful that is watching me edit box colliders. Don't worry, guys. I know. I prefer editing inside, like, to when you click this edit, I prefer it takes me to the actual edit, like not like another tab, but takes me out of the scene and into like the edit mode of the like, it's just a lot easier to visually see whether you're level with the ground and such. I find it difficult to see the edges of an object when we're trying to adjust the or edit the box collider when we're in the scene mode or scene tab. Okay, that's kind of why I'm having but I have to remind myself, it all looks good from an airplane, right? Okay, so I'm gonna turn our sprite renderer back on, and so check it out. So with the box collider, like, I could actually just delete it or whatever, but we actually need it. We're gonna utilize it in the code behind, and it has size values. So these are the actual dimensions of the background itself. So X is 112.8 and Y is 18 point blah 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 blah, right? So that's cool. So now, because what you're gonna have to do is, so the thing is you don't, just looking at the background image, you can't tell the dimensions, right? It's there's no measuring tape, you know, when we're doing these. We can see tiles in here, or squares, but we don't really know the dimensions of these squares, to be honest. I mean, I guess we could roughly guess it now. Like, we know it's 112 in the X, so we would have to count each one, right? To give us an idea. And it's pretty long, so I'm not going to put you through that pain. But that's actually 112 units, I guess. So what would each one of these squares be, right? I don't know. So, but that's it. I'm not going to put you through that pain of counting that. That's just, in my mind, a lot of wasted time, and I don't want to do that for you guys. But if you have this set up and you wanted to know what each one of these squares is, I mean, 112, right? So I could just count these, but it's gonna take time, right? How many are in here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 in each big square, right? So I could go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Yeah, that makes sense. 110. Yeah. So each one is 10. Is that correct? I kind of guessed it quickly. So, yeah. That means each one of these, but it doesn't seem to work out perfect in my mind. Because we're kind of over the edge here by 10. And I'm starting here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. 110. And each one of these is 10. So that's 10 here, 10 down here. That puts me at 120. So, but anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I did that as quick as I could. Right? So, I don't know. Dimensionally, it doesn't seem accurate, but whatever. This is an AutoCAD. So, and again, it all looks good from an airplane. Let's go! Okay. So now we know that. Just a little bit of added information there for you guys and gals. Okay? So going to my background script. Okay, we're going to just grind this out. I'm using a start and an update. So I'm going to keep those. I actually am using those. Okay, so let's grind up some code quickly. Okay, without the code, nothing happens, guys. Okay? So if you want to learn how to make games and stuff and you use Unity, you're going to have to learn how to code. Okay? Get the basics down. Alright, I mean, the code behind is a lot more simplistic. I don't want to say it's simplistic. I don't mean to say it that way. But when you're doing console applications, you can could utilize a lot more code. How do I say it? A lot more. Don't press shift. A lot more methods, a lot of different methods, a lot of, just a lot of different things. You can create, obviously you can still create your own classes here, but there's a lot more you could learn with when you're learning initially how to do C# coding. Okay, again, I have a C++ series, guys. I'll quickly go into it. I mean, if you're into learning C++, of course you're gonna learn C++, and then you'll have to learn C#. But just to let you know, like when you go to learn C#, you're gonna already have a good solid foundation of coding just from learning C++. Okay, throwing that out there, guys. All right, so learning C# after is just gonna be, because you're gonna have a good you're going to still have a good solid understanding of, the fundamentals, the ins and outs, what happens under the hood, memory and allocation and all those things, and newing up and what to do when you new up and all those things, right? So you'll have that. Like for me, C++, it helped me get a good, deeper understanding. I loved it. So, and then of course, you know, to use Unity, you need to know how to do C#. So, good luck. I support you in your endeavor. My C++ series, guys, you know, there's only 1 to 2 hours of C++ content. The last half an hour or hour is like mathematics stuff. So I try to show examples and stuff and such, kind of like real life examples to make, you know, coding more than just typing words and numbers. You know what I mean? So I try to do that. Again, there's breaks in my videos, so they're not all 3-4 hours long, even though it looks like that. All right, just throwing that out there. All right, good luck. I wish you the best. If you have any questions or concerns or any answers or answers, I guess I would have the questions and you would have the answers. But anyways, yeah, just drop it in comments. And yeah, I'm here to help. I will do my best. Do I need to serialize? No. Okay, let's go. Private vector 3. There's some things, new things you have to learn too when you're doing Unity C# development, because Unity has their own kind of wordage, you know, things going on that they have, that it's specialized to their software, right? So when you're initially learning coding, you're going to be learning certain things, but these are like vector 3. This is an addition to learning more coding, because vector 3 is part of Unity's development. Okay, it's a struct, right? That's just another. You might learn structs before you learn classes. Okay, essentially a struct is, you know, you can akin it to a class, but there you go. And this is vector 3 is something that it isn't part of the standard common things you'll see when you're learning C#, right? This is Unity's own thing, right? So my point is, you're gonna have to learn their kind of lingo and words and wordage and methods and the names of their methods and all those things, right? Lots to learn, guys. To have an open mind, right? Once you get the foundation and the solid foundation of coding, it becomes all breezy, easy, lemon squeezy, I'm telling you. Okay, start position equals. Okay, we're gonna, so this is kind of like equaling. This is similar to like creating a variable, float, for example. It could be an int, whatever, right? Data types is another thing you got to learn about. Private int, let's say, I don't know, some kind, it's private, so I'm just gonna go M. We're gonna call it, I don't know, some just random number. Okay, so normally, like with C++, you have to equal it to 0, right? Or you could use, like, I don't want to get into C++, but there's another way where you can actually use the curly brackets to zero out a variable. With C#, it seems like to me that you don't need to tell it to be 0. It actually stores it as 0. Because, so my point is in C++, just take note of the little differences. There's a lot of little different subtleties or little different things to be aware of between the different languages. Okay, again, syntax is there's a difference in the syntax, but like private and data types and naming conventions, all those are all the same. Just the syntax is a little bit different, but it's not that bad, guys. It's really not. Okay, so like what I'm trying to say here is this is no different, but what we're doing here is we're declaring. Okay, this is like, think of this as like the data type, just like an int is a data type. Float is a data type. This is a type too. I'm not going to call it a data type, but it's actually a struct, right? So, but you can kind of think of it like that. And then this is the name, right? Everything you create has to have a name. A variable is what stores the information, right? That's how it's saved in memory. Is this variable that you create that holds the value. It even holds a memory location. I know with arrays, that's a big thing with arrays. The name itself, the array name, is what holds the address, if you will, the memory address. Okay, so what we're doing here is, because this is a vector 3, guys, we're making it 0. Essentially, we're making it 0, 0, 0, I believe. Yeah, see? Right there. I don't even have to, like, look at this stuff to know what's up. It's pretty awesome. So 0 is just a shorthand for vector 0, 0, 0. Really, we're just saying, just like I said here, right? So, right, if you create a variable, you don't want it holding garbage, because that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. With C++, if you don't initialize it, this is called initializing, right? Equals 0. That's called initializing. Right? We're giving it a value. Otherwise, it's holding garbage in memory. And really, that's normal. Like, the word garbage sounds terrible, but really what it is just, it looks like hexadecimal. Okay? In our minds, we look at hexadecimal, and that's just a bunch of nonsensical stuff put together that doesn't make sense to us, right? It's just a bunch of random letters and numbers put together. Right? But that's, you know, computers work off hexadecimal, right? Binary and hex. So it needs to have some sort of value, so it'll store hexadecimal values or some random whatever is there in memory into our variable. Okay, I didn't mean to go on a tangent, guys, but I hope you guys don't mind learning a little bit of, you know, hopefully maybe you're learning C# and that, and this is just going to help you as well grow as you're learning C# coding, because maybe your main goal is to learn how to use Unity, right? Nothing wrong with that. Here I'm just helping kind of strengthen your skill set. Okay? Appreciate you being here, making some noise. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't mean to turn it into lessons too, but I should probably just do C# videos as well. But you know, the views gotta go up. Like, the views just have to be there. You know? I can't live off of bologna and egg sandwiches forever, guys, you know? I'm trying over here. I'm trying. I feel like the only people that are going to watch this kind of content are the cool people, the cool, intelligent people of the world. That's how I feel. Everybody else that only cares about Kardashians and drama, they're definitely not watching this. Okay. Alright, so header, vital controls, other, I could change this title or header any time I want. I'm just gonna roll with it for now. Private vector 3, start position. It should be an M, but okay, I'll fix it up. M for member. M is, this just tells whoever's reading your code that you kind of know what you're doing. Whoops. Like stuff like this. It's hard to see, but it's just an underscore. That automatically tells anybody that's looking at your code that that's private. This is little things, guys. You don't realize that, you know, the way certain things are typed actually have meaning. Right? M just means member. Anything that's part of a class is a member. Okay? Okay. So, back to this. Let's delete that. I'm having a good day today. Truly am. RRM. So I'm just going to create a private variable. Okay. Float. I'm going to call it K backset because K is for constant. And this is going to be our backset. I'm just going to throw it in versus the random number. I'm going to actually just go like this so you guys can see what the backset is. Okay, the backset is 56.4. And really what it is that 128 here divided by 2. So that's why we added the box collider, guys. It's a cool little trick. You know, I won't lie, I learned that. I didn't know. But now I know, hey, cool, if you needed to know the distance of something, just put a box collider to it. I think it's a cool little trick, right? Otherwise, you're going to have to guess the center, right? You would have to guess the value, right? So we're just going to keep it, right now it's set to 0. I believe. You know, there's no way of me kind of, like for me with console applications, I could actually return this value to see what's stored. Or I could run this, I guess it would tell me, but I don't want to do that. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, private, we need an awake. Okay, void, awake, tab, boom. Okay, boom. Go like this. Little notes for you guys. Okay. K underscore backset is going to equal to not 0f. Do I have to initialize it there? I'm wondering. I actually need to know. Like, I'm curious. Is this holding garbage or does it actually hold a value? Just trying to think of what I could do. I guess I could do a text thing, but I don't want to get in. That's another video. I was gonna do like a text background, kind of like what you see here with the background image. You can actually have these things called where is that? Right, it's right click right here. UI Text Mesh Pros. Okay. So stay tuned. I'll do a video on that too as well, guys. I'm curious. Is that holding 0? I won't know unless I actually run the debugger, but I don't want to run the debugger. Okay. Get component. So what we're doing here, the reason we're using the awake method, it's just like with the rigid body. For our player, right? When you're getting a component, you want to use the awake method, okay, guys? And that's why I'm using that. Okay, now why is this not coming up? I have questions. K backset component now. I'm just gonna go like, there we go. There it is. Like, wake up, hello, okay? I'm going to go like that for now. So what we're trying to do is we're actually going to access, the reason we're doing this, guys, is just like I said, with the rigid body of the player, we need to actually, we're calling this, essentially. We're calling the rigid body that's attached to the player. And the background, we're calling the box collider that's part of the background. Essentially, it's kind of, you know, I'm just going to call it calling. Okay? So we type in here box collider because that's the information we're trying to access, guys. Is the elements we're trying to access, the properties or values that are associated with our box collider through our code. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And then the other coolest thing here is, which with methods, you can actually access, you can, hitting the dot separator, I call it the dot separator. When you're learning C++, you learn, you got to create an object, especially when you're learning about classes and that, and you're working in the main and such. You create an object and then you use the dot separator so that you could access anything that's public, I guess anything that would have public access from your class in the main. Now if you follow C++, you'll know what I mean by in the main. Okay, the main in the main. Okay, a lot of you already know what the main is. Okay, I'm talking about C. I mean, I guess technically there's the main in C# as well. Anyways, so the dot separator, I could access like other methods. Anything purple in the list is a method. Anything that's a wrench is like a getter or a setter. Okay, just to let you know. So we're gonna access the size. Okay, that's what we want, right? The size. Okay, you can access the size, guys. Look, it's right here. Size, right there. Right? A little bit of thinking 101. Oh, hey, cool. I can access the size. Yes, you can. Which value do we want? We want the X value. Okay, that's why we go dot separator X. And then to get half, what do you do to get half of something? Fractions 101. 1 divided by 2. Right? Divided by 2. There you go. Now I could be anal and use brackets here. You can, if you want to be, you know, so essentially anything that's inside the brackets, it's like bedmass, pedmass, guys. Right? If you want something like coding's the same. Right? Otherwise, you'd be just adding everything without following bedmass, pedmass rules. Okay? Now, I didn't need to separate it because really this is just one singular item. Okay? Now, if I had, let's say I was multiplying some other values. Let's say I was multiplying K set as well. Okay? And then dividing it by 2. That wouldn't make sense to do that, but I'm just showing you, right? Then you would use the parentheses. I don't need it because it's a singular item. Okay? It's kind of like this is all the 1 over the 2, essentially. Does that make sense? This is just a single value over being divided by a single value. Okay? 1 over 2. A single value divided by a single value. That's why I didn't use the brackets. Little tips, guys. Little tips. Okay? So in our start method, which is a life cycle method, because I'm sick and tired of reading that. I won't lie. Sorry, Unity. Love you guys. I'm just tired of seeing that. Okay, M_start position is going to equal transform position. So essentially we want to get the initial access of the start position. Okay? Right here, the start position 0. Remember, guys? We're initializing it to 0. Essentially, that's what this is. I just showed you, like, you know, what that does there. There's 3 dimensions of zeros, but it's still 0. Okay? Yeah, I like to think of things deeper. I like to have a deeper understanding. Okay, so that's our start. Start position is going to equal the transform position of wherever it is in space and time here in our game. Okay? So now, this is where I create my own method, right? You know me over here, guys. I like to refactor. and have my own methods. I just enjoy creating methods, my own like making my own magic happen. Essentially, I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna call it private void. And now I'm gonna do, this is kind of like verbs and such. Here's what I'm gonna explain to you. Check this out. So I called this code. I know we're not done here. It's giving me a red error. I know I'm not done. Okay, I'm not quite finished code. Okay, I called this background loop. Okay, this script. I called the script background loop. That's what it does. The script does a background loop. Okay, so check this out. This is I like to kind of switch my words. So what's this method gonna do? Well, this method's job is to loop the background. So I'll switch the words. Do you understand the swapping that I'm doing with the like, if you how do I explain this? It's kind of like an action word now. Okay, this method is gonna loop the background. You understand? I'm gonna leave it at that. I think you do. If so, I just swapped it. I named the class or the script background loop. That's what the script is, our background loop script. My method has action, right? Method does action. It makes the magic happen, right? Think of a method as making the magic happen, because really that's what it does. You're making things happen with a method. So the method, turning it into an action word, it's going to loop the background. Cool, huh? Yes, so this is how we do it. Okay, so transform dot position, okay, dot x, okay, because that's all we care about. Now why dot x? Well, because if you look at it, right, x is red, and that's the direction that it's moving. It's moving in the x direction, guys. Okay, so that's why it's x. We don't care about up and down, and we don't care about z. Z is going that way, off in the yonder. Pretend I'm some young kid at a baseball diamond peeking the fence trying to watch the baseball game. Okay. Hey, where's the baseball game, guys? I don't see it. Where is it? Okay. We only care about x. Okay, so that's why we're using that. So if that position, if the transform.position.x, the x position, is less than the start position, oops, I added m dot x, minus subtracting our k backsets. Okay, so there's a little bit of math going on here. Okay, so if the original position essentially is less than the start position, which is 0 here, and then here at this point we actually giving it, so initially it's 0, okay guys, but we have to assign it a value. So a value does get stored. So when the program gets run, it looks for the position of this background. It takes those coordinates and stores it into here. So there is actual values in here now. Okay, so now we're going, well, it's if the position is less than the whatever is stored in here minus the backset. The backset is, there's a calculation for that as well. The backset is right here, right? We've done that. So that's our calculation for the backset, gets stored in here. Okay, so if it is, then do this. Okay, dot position. I'm just gonna kind of leave it at that without over explaining it. Okay, and this is how you set it back, guys. So basically it's kind of like playing baton. I call it playing baton. I don't know why. But we're swapping it back now. Okay? So if it is less, then we're swapping it back to the original position. Essentially, that's what's happening. Okay? Just to have an understanding of what's going on in the code behind. And the last thing we need to do is remember, guys, when you're refactoring or creating your own methods, right? We're doing that so that we're not slamming thousands of pounds of information into our update method. And if any experienced developer reads your code and they see that you slammed your, this would be like a standard method that's part of Unity's mono behavior. I believe it's part of that. Yeah. I know it says background loop here, but it's just associating it with my script, with my script. But it is part of the mono behavior. Okay, again, that's all we're putting inside here, guys. That's all I want to see you guys doing when you're create your own methods, guys. Learn to come up with your own names, right? Learn how to create your own variables, right? It's good to kind of exercise your mind. All right, so I went right through the code. I went straight to it instead of putting, like, I know the value, right? I could have started off, you know, like 30 or something, right? I could have guessed, right? So, but what you're gonna see and experience is like a lurching effect. But we're gonna just get straight to it and get her done, okay? Because I already take long enough. So, trying to push through this quicker. Let's run this. Okay, it's a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, guys. You can see a little bit of kind of like normal frame to frame stuff with the image, but you're not seeing like any snapping with the image. Okay, so this code alone, because we are accessing utilizing the box collider in our code and basically dividing it by 2, right? And then swapping it at the middle, we're not going to get that weird snapping effect that you'll see. Now I could show you, I guess, but if you go through the Learn.Unity tutorial yourself, you will see that there anyways. Okay, make a noise. All right, yeah. Drop some yays. Okay, where are we? Let's see. What are we doing for time? We're already at an hour. Time flies when you're having fun. Oh yeah. Truly does. Okay. Let's continue then. That's why I kind of pushed through that quicker. I could have, you know, did the... Anyways. Right? I could have did this initially and then talked about this, but that's the code right there, guys. Okay? You can pause it and copy it. Okay? And then it's all open source now. And really, there's not a lot of code there anyway, so there's nothing, you know, top secret about it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a game over trigger. I do want to get to cleaning up our memory. That's what I need to do. That, because I don't want to play it for too long, because I don't know, I got garbage stored on my RAM now every time I run it, right? That doesn't get clean. It doesn't get cleared. So I got areas on my RAM that's holding information that's kind of just left there and never to be accessed again. You know, when you shut down your system, your RAM gets cleared. But I don't think it's not getting cleared as you're using it throughout the day, unless you actually clear it, right? You have to, the thing about coding in that, we have to clean up our mess. We have to, it's kind of like housekeeping, right? You know, it's just like anything. If you're filling a bathtub full of water and you're not removing any water, it's plugged in everything, and you don't even bother turning the taps off, eventually that bathtub's gonna fill up, right? What happens if you don't start removing water from the bathtub? Well, it starts overflowing, and that's when you might as well think of it that way. As soon as your device or your console or your PC system starts lagging and freezing in that, well, that's the point where the water is flowing over the edge of your bathtub. Okay, that's when you're starting to have problems. Okay, so you got to do housekeeping. I know we all don't want to grab a broom or a vacuum cleaner, you know, because it's so painful, you know. We all don't like the broom or the vacuum cleaner, but you have to do housekeeping. Okay, it's gonna make your game better for the user. Just think about it. If a user is experiencing freezing and lagging and crashing with your game all the time because you haven't incorporated housekeeping in your game development, you think they're gonna want to play your game and recommend your game? I doubt it, right? So housekeeping in game development is key. Again, we're cleaning up all of our newing up. We're cleaning up all of our instantiating. Okay, that's what we got to get to. Okay, so what we could do though, while we're kind of waiting to do that, so now have I done that already? So ground is already tagged ground. Okay, we've got that done. So in player controller, player controller script, going to my script. Again, guys, I back up and keep my script, so I like to reflect on it every once in a while if I need it. Depends on what kind of project I'm working on. I'll reutilize script in the same fashion or manner. Pretty much it's all part of being consistent. Some areas of code have, you know, different functionality and purpose. It just depends on what you're creating, what you're developing, what you're designing, right? All the code's going to change. You know, it's not all going to be the same all the time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to declare a public bool game over in our excuse me, sorry guys that I do that. I know it's become like a terrible habit. Thirstiness, I think, is what it is. Okay, hold up. Where is that? I'm sure I private what? Huh? Where did I? Oh, there it is. Right, because it had to be public. That's why. Right. So this, yeah, this is, we're getting into this now. Okay. Now I recall. Private and public access. Okay. I'm gonna try to be quick on this. Is my music still playing? Sounds like it. Okay. Looks like it. Okay. So anytime you create, guys, anytime you create a class, okay, or your script, anything that's with, I know this says public, it's because it has to be public here so that, you know, the system or Unity has access to it, right? It needs public access, right? If we made this private, I don't think anything's gonna work here. Okay, that makes sense? I hope so. Without over explaining that. So, but anything that's in between our curly brackets, so the brother curly bracket and the sister curly bracket, is private. So anything you type in here is commonly private. Like you don't even need to type, for example, you'll see you don't have to type private for the update here, right? As Unity does, right? And that's fine, they could do that. I mean, that's what they want to do. That's cool of them. I like seeing it there. It's just for myself. I like seeing it there. Oh, I better get into the proper script too. Let's clean up a little bit. We don't need those. If they're ghosted, they're not being. They're just namespaces not being utilized. Okay, they're not even being accessed. Namespaces are basically the library, right? It's the library, and it's, you know, part of Visual Studio. Unity has their own library. That's the way I look at namespaces, right? Like a library. Okay. Player background. Okay, so we're gonna get to player here. That's where we should be. So again, I like, it's just good coding practice to make things private. That's why setters and getters are created, so that anything typed within a class, certain things or certain methods can have access, right? You make things private, like variables and such, without setters and getters and whatever. Like C++ actually shows you really well, gives you just a good, better understanding. For me, that's how I feel. But anyways, so what we're doing here is we need to create a public one this time, guys. And ooh, yeah, I'm gonna do their original code, okay? And I'm gonna show you something different if this doesn't work. So I'm gonna do their code first. Is game over? So we just need a Boolean that says is game over. That's all we need. Okay? Okay, there. So public bool is gamer over. Is game over. Okay? It needs to be bool for this. There's reasons. Okay? Anything else I need to do? Okay, on collision enter, we need to add like an if-else statement to test if the player collided with the ground or the obstacle, right? That's why we did the tags, guys, right? The ground tag and the player tag. Okay, this is just for the system itself, so that it recognizes. It's kind of like you're telling the system which is the ground and which is the player, right? It doesn't know otherwise. So that's what the tags do in a nutshell, right? Just keeping it simplistic. Okay, so if the is on ground is true, and that's, let me just see here. So which I have compared to ground, is grounded is true. We have that. Now else if the player, right, if the player collides with the obstacle, right, that's kind of the idea. If the player collides with this obstacle, which, did we actually name it obstacle? No, we have not. Okay, do I have that yet? No. So since we're talking about tags, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to create another tag. I'm going to add a new one. I just hit the plus sign. Obstacle. Save. Okay, and then I'm just going to go back to here. And then you actually have to select it. All we did was just create one. Okay? Just because I typed it here and created it doesn't mean it's being like stored. Right? So now I have to make sure that we tag the stone wall as obstacle. There. So we might have overrides now, right? Remember, guys, we have prefabs, right? Which is prefabs are for copying. That's how you repeat stuff in the middle of a game. Okay, so we just got to check our overrides, and we have an override to do. So there we go. So just once you do stuff like that, just check, make sure, because they have to match. All right. Remember, we're doing original prefabs here. They're original. Okay, so back to the code here. Going to again, I'm gonna do their code first, and then show you how to fix things if it doesn't work. There's an error that comes up. I'm just gonna let you guys know this. Okay, so is game over. Right, we are gonna do obstacle. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a couple here. Okay, so I'm also just get it typed up. So if we're using our collision object dot game object dot, we're gonna compare tag. This is where we're accessing our tags, guys, right? Ground, do we have that? We have one for ground already. Okay, so we need one for obstacle. If, all right, this was supposed to be an else if. That's okay, I'll fix it. Obstacle. Make sure you type it properly. This is supposed to be an else if. Okay, and there. Okay, and then I could have a debug. Okay, so this is just something. This is a way of kind of returning to the console, if you will. So, and then we just put game over. Okay, you'll see, guys. Okay, it's the way. This is a way to put information at the bottom of your screen here. It's not in the console, but you will see it in the console, but it displays it down here at the bottom of your game. Okay, you could use it for testing too, right? You could say, right, let's say you wanted to test different areas of your code. You could do a debug, right? You could go, let's say I wanted, I don't know, just for example, let's say I wasn't, is this working, right? Here, just hold up. I could just type jumping. Is jumping working? Right? That's how you test it. That's how you know that you're in this code. Right? That's how you know the program's in this code, is if it displays this at the bottom of the screen. Okay? Just letting you know. Little things that you could do for testing. Okay, so up here, it's public bool is game over. Again, it's set to false, right? What am I doing? Is game all right? Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Is false. Okay. So we have to make it true, right? At some point. Okay, again, remember guys, when we're doing this stuff, all we're doing is changing states on and off. What? Just actually double clicked the wrong one. That's how you switch states, is and not. You can do that too. I meant to, I'm being lazy here. There. Equal to. We're changing states. Think of it as a state. Is it on? Is it off? Right? Is it true? Is it false? Okay? So we're changing. Initially the state is it's false. We're changing the state to true. So from 0 to 1. Okay? 0 and 1. On and off. Okay? And then, but we still need another if statement here. If, oh, hold up. Oh, yeah, no. I am going to add another one, but not right now. Actually, I'll do it anyways. It's just something I kind of added in. If collision. This is kind of a bonus for you guys. Yeah, a little bit of a bonus. Nothing crazy, nothing special. Not equal to null. If it's not equal to null, then do this. I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to put playing. Okay, there. Okay, that's that. Those two kind of belong together. That one's separate. Okay, there's the code. And so, yeah. We're not quite finished with this. There's something else. I need to actually... So remember, we're just changing the states, but we're not doing anything else with it. The program might actually be yelling at us, maybe. It's actually not yelling at us. Shocker. Okay, it's, you know that, remember earlier where it was saying you've declared the variable but you're not using it kind of thing? That's what I was expecting from this from Unity to be telling me. Okay. Oh, let's see. Just trying to get organized with my script and their script. Okay, because my script is like some areas are I've set things up a bit different than theirs, right? Kind of advancing the script a bit. Okay, so we've created the Boolean game over. We've we do have it saying is true here on is grounded. Okay, that's true, yeah. And the else if collision get compared to the obstacle, so we should be actually utilizing the collision, the box colliders, right? I don't know, I didn't mean to call it the physics. Essentially it's kind of the physics, but we're actually making use of the box collider. So if one box collider is occupying the same space of another object box collider, then something's gonna happen, right? It's gonna trigger some events. Okay, essentially. Okay, so is game over is true, and then we got the debug, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's done. So what's next? Do we have to do anything else? Game over trigger, right? Let's just test it. Okay, let's do some testing and see what happens. Again, I don't want to play too long because I don't want to. There we go. Did it do anything? It said game over. You can see it down there, right? Nothing's really happening yet. We're not really. We kind of passed through the box collider and it triggered this statement. So that's working. Is the is playing working? Let's find out. Yes, playing is working. I hit the obstacle, so it triggered the game over event. So that's working. Okay, again, that's what you guys could do for testing, right? So now we know that this is working and this is working. Okay, we know. Okay, so let's see. The move left script player controller. Right, this is where they're adding in this stuff. This is the stuff I wanted to get into. Okay, which didn't work for me initially. Ended up getting an error, so I had to type my code in a different fashion. So let's see, that's part of the move left script. What? No. Is it part of the move left script? Was it? Let me just see. Move left. Here's my move left script. Okay, yeah, it was. Move obstacle. Okay, part of the move obstacle script. Okay, well, let's go there. Move obstacle script. We have that. I haven't added that yet. Okay, so start method. Okay, we need the start method. private void. It's easy to type up again, guys, if you remove it. Boom, tab, tab, boom, 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 done. Okay, did I declare that variable yet? No, I have not. So we're using this is being created so that when the player collides with the obstacle, something happens. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. So what we're trying to do is create communication between scripts. Okay, we can do that because this script is public and this script is public, so they can communicate with each other. But again, remember, guys, so what we're typing here is we're going to type something. We're basically going to tell the move obstacle script to communicate with the player controller script. Essentially, that's what we're doing here. Okay, player controller equals, I'm going to go with, actually, I didn't want that because it's private. I don't know why it came up like that. I should be able to go like this. M underscore. There. Boom. Okay. So that's my class. Okay. And we created a variable that's associated with the class. Okay. And then in the start method, so maybe this will work. We'll see. I've done some different things with my code. I'm just doing some testing. Okay, so now what we're gonna do here is player controller. We need to kind of tell it what to do, right? So link to the game object. We're gonna link to the game object player, find player. This is part of the tag system, guys. Okay, remember the tag system. Player, player. That's our link. What is this? Duplicate private modifier? Duplicate? What? Where? What do you mean? Which script? The move obstacle script, line 10? Line 10, duplicate. Not sure what you're talking about. I don't have it duplicated. Bob. Okay, we're just going to continue with our code. Okay, da-da-da-da. And then... Okay, player equals game object dot find, in parentheses, string value player dot get components. I feel like it should be part of the awake. Could be, maybe. Could be get component player. There we go. It's finished the code for me. I'm just wondering if that should be part of the awake. I'm gonna type awake. Maybe it'll work. Could be that. We're gonna use the awake method instead, guys. Because remember, with the rigid body, and what else did we use it for? The background, right? We used awake. So I'm gonna test it with the awake. I mean, they used it in start, but we're gonna test it in awake. Okay, what else do I have to do? So we've done that. We're in the move obstacle, right? We're basically telling this script to communicate with this script. Okay, essentially that's what this means. Okay, it's a bit of a link up. Okay, again, this is calling the player controller script. It's a method. Blah, blah, blah. Do I have to do anything else? In the update, they had... Okay, hold up. Just comparing it to the script. Okay, move obstacle. Was it in the move obstacle I put that? Okay. Must have. Yeah, right here. Okay, so if mPlayer, right, now we're accessing the variable, right? It's assigned this. Okay, if this, now this is how we access. So take note, guys. our Boolean here is game over is part of the player controller script. It's not part of the move obstacle script. All right, this is things that you have to understand. Relationships between public and private access. Private, like anything that's inside this class, this is information for this class. Nothing outside of this class can access this information. I can't take this move obstacle method that I created here and use it over here. I can't. It's just impossible. Well, it's not impossible, to be honest, right? I'm over exaggerating. I actually have to create what we're doing here, right? Hopefully it'll work this time. We'll see. Testing things. We have to do this so that we can access it. So now, as a matter of fact, utilizing this, I might be able to access the methods from here as well, right? I could do that. But we don't want the methods. We want to access the Boolean, okay? That's why the Boolean here is public, guys. If this was private, right, that's what I'm trying to get at. If it's private, that's private information to the class here itself, right? Nothing outside of the class can access it. Unity can access this, but the different classes can't access the information. But because this is public, now we've given overall access to the other classes that we have here. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm trying to help you guys understand it a little bit better. This video might be a little longer than it should be. I need to hurry up. Okay, so finishing up. Where am I here now? What are we working on? Right, we got to finish this here. Okay, so okay, is game over. Okay, so I'm accessing the is game over. See, it comes up. So if it's here, guys, if it comes up in the pull down, you're doing good. Okay, that means now you have access to the Boolean that is in the player controller script. Essentially, that's what's happening here. Okay, game over. If is game over is, I don't know, equal to false, or we could go not equal to true. Okay. Equal to false is the same as saying not equal to true. Okay, the exclamation point is a not. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is we're actually putting this inside that. Control X, Control V. I might have to redo all this code. We'll see, guys. Okay, okay, we're not at that point yet. Okay, there's more script. I just have to pay attention because I have full script I'm looking at, guys, and I have to kind of, again, I'm doing this stuff in stages, so for me, I have to organize it in my mind, which sections and which parts of the script do I share at this moment, right? There's an order of operations happening here. Okay, so we've created this if statement. Accessing the if it's game over is true. So the idea is keep doing this if it's still game over is obviously like a game over situation, right? If it's not equal to true, keep doing this. Okay, essentially, right? So again, remember with the is game over, we have, as soon as we have a collision happen, then a game over situation happens. It becomes true, right? So now this move obstacle here, it creates a stop effect, essentially. Okay, the game should stop. We'll see if I get this bug or not. Did I save that? Oh, it's actually working. Oh, there. See, it stopped. Let's go. I think I actually figured it out. It actually worked this time because I had to type my code different to have access. So it looks like it's working. Good. Now here's what I'm thinking, guys. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Because I had earlier, I'll show you. Let me just show you. Okay. So in my script, I'll just show you my code here. Okay. Like I said, I just copy the code. Okay. I was getting a broken red error in the console. Okay. It was giving me a null reference exception. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Move obstacle dot fix update blah blah blah, and it was giving me an error at line 19. Okay, so I started thinking a little bit because I changed up my code to make it work. I typed up my code. I still created access between these two, but I had to type it slightly different. And I was going to show you the guys that, but it seems to be working, so we might just roll with this. Okay? So yeah, I was getting an error here in console, right? It was telling me that. So here's what I'm thinking, okay? So I started thinking about it more. I'm like, okay, is it because I made the parents character game object and then blah blah blah, and I attached, remember how I was at the beginning of this, guys? And if you're following along and watching, you're getting some good tips over here. I'm showing you guys, like, I'm not showing you the rest of my code. I guess I could change it up if you want me to. I'll share my code too and show you how I did it, but previously I wasn't getting it working, so I had to change up the game plan and type my own code in such a fashion to make it work for me, right? And I did get it to work. But then I started later on going, well, okay, I started thinking about it more, and I'm debugging in my brain, guys, figuring out, okay, what did I do? Because I understand computer a little bit, I guess. So, but I was thinking, this is what I was thinking. Remember at the beginning, if you guys have been watching and following this series, how I talked about, we're getting into this conversation now, how I talked about attaching your, like with the player, so this is the parent, right? The parent has nothing. It's just an empty game object, okay? But some people will attach properties. Again, I call these properties. Inspector tab, anything you see in the inspector tab, I think of them as properties. A rigid body, it's a component. They call them components. Properties, components, whatever, however you want to think about it, right? Some people in game development, they'll attach these properties to the parent, okay, and not the player, right? So I had a bit of a confliction. I had the parent tagged as player, right? You're following? I hope you're following along here, right? You can see it's untagged. And I had all of these. I had the scripts, I had the rigid body, I had the box collider attached to the parent. Okay, I don't know, I was being lazy or I didn't pay attention. I guess you can do this, but you just have to be aware you might come across some complications. Okay, it just depends on what you're creating. I mean, some developers will do that. Instead of attaching the script and the rigid body and the box collider to the child, they attach it to the parent. Okay? I hope you understand what I said there. So I started thinking about it. Is that the reason why? Because the error was, null reference exception. Like, there's nothing on the internet. I tried researching it a little bit. There's nothing on the internet that gives you a solution to this problem, guys. Okay? Nothing helped me on the internet. I had to use my own brain and thinking and figure it out. So I was like trying different things, and one of the things that I started thinking about, does it have something to do with my game objects? Because this is a game object, this is a game object. And just from doing this testing and running this code, utilizing learn.unity script, because essentially the errors started happening as soon as I did this. As soon as I created this and created this, that's when I was getting the errors. And I believe I'm starting to feel that it's because I had my properties attached to the parent object and not the player. And I had the player tagged. I had the player tagged as player, and I had the character tagged as player. So there was, I think, a bit of a confliction going on with when you run the program, right? So I did remove the tag off of player when I was initially doing this. I just set it to untagged, and the parent object was tagged as player, and it was tagged as player because it had all these properties attached to it at that time. So I had to kind of change up the game and do my script. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I hope you learned something today. Yeah, I'm not getting that no reference error, so that's good. Okay, but that's what the game's supposed to do. It's supposed to stop, but you can see we're building up. We're still instantiating here, and that's a big problem for me. Okay, again, we gotta do some housekeeping still, guys. I appreciate you watching. I'm gonna run another video for you guys. For those of you that are watching and found this channel and watching this content, you guys, you guys are getting some, yeah. Give yourselves a pat on the back, okay, for finding this and watching this, because I think you're learning. Honestly, I may go a little wacky and wild and go on a tangent and talk about things a lot, and whatever. I mean, I think you're getting some good debugging experience here from WhiskeyTango Coding. So I appreciate you guys, subscribers, viewers. You're all awesome, beautiful, intelligent peoples. I'll see you guys in the next video. Johnny with WhiskeyTango Coding saying peace out for now. Peace.